Okay, so the train keeps on going, and it's my pleasure to introduce our next Impulse Talk speaker. It's Alexander Finger. You can applaud now, so let's, yeah. I'm mixing it up in the afternoon. I will just ask you to clap randomly for stuff. What was really charming is when we had our briefing call for this session, he told me, you know, Isabel, this is like the second really big transformation that I'm a part of. The first one being the start of the internet, where I was laying cable for the actual internet. So here we have somebody who looks back at really a variety of experiences when it comes to innovation, the internet, the adoption of new technologies, and this way has led him to be the CTO for SAP. And I'm so excited that you will give us some insights into the AI strategy of SAP. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Isabel, for the introduction. So one thing which really stuck with me was when you said that you are going to read the face of people, analyze the face of people, and then decide whether you are willing to sell them a product or not. And looking into all your faces, I think that lunch has left its trace, right? But we can do something against that. So let's do that together. Stick out your arms. Bring your arm up. You see how the blood is flowing back into your brain? Down. Up. You do like this. You smile. You do like this. Down. Stay like this. Wait. So wait. I need the picture. Thumbs up, smile. Good. So if you ever do that, always do that before you say anything of value, because people might not play the game with you after your presentation anymore. So I learned that very early. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm really happy to be here with DMI and with all the sponsoring partners and of course our SAP customers. These are our moments of truth, right, where we engage with each other, where we hear our customers saying things, whether we like them or whether we would rather have heard them before and acted against them. But I think these are the moments where we can truly exchange and have this, open word, discussing with each other, and I cherish that a lot, and I take a lot home with me every time we have these situations. And I really like them. So AI is happening now, and I don't think I have to ask you whether you agree or not, unless somebody doesn't agree. Somebody says AI is not relevant right now. Okay. And why is that happening right now? Because you've heard that before, and if you heard Peter's presentation or if you had a little chat with him, you have heard that the algorithms are actually not so new. We are not talking about something which has been invented last year or the year before by OpenAI. We're talking about old work which comes now to life. But why does it come to life now? Because today, if you want to create a data center, if you want to install services, you might have to pull cables, but actually you don't do that anymore because things have been virtualized. And they are available online. So you can take your credit card, you can sign up with Microsoft Azure, with AWS, or with Google Cloud Platform, and at the end of the day, I take every bet we will have a fully redundant data center with backup, with mail, with infrastructure services, with firewalls, and so on. And this is a huge technical revolution. I have not only built part of the internet, I have built data centers myself. And I was very proud that I was able to deploy servers within an hour in the US for my colleagues. This is nothing unusual anymore. So there you can just go click, select the size of the machine you want, select the template you want, and you go. This is a huge advancement, and I can't point that out enough. It has changed a lot in information technology. At the same time, with this availability of technology, we have as well data. Everything is producing data today. I don't know, Vido, how much data do you produce more today than 10 years ago? 50 times 100? Yeah. Do you deliver any machine without an interface to deliver data to the customer?
Certain countries, yes.
Yeah, but it's very little. Normally, when you buy, so I did on my vacation, I reconstructed an old van, and this old van it's 30 years old, and there is literally no electricity except for the starter and the alternator in the engine department. But going from there, I have a Bluetooth interface for the battery, for the solar panel, for everything, for the fridge, and it's only my truck, right? So we produce data the whole time. And I take every bet that you sitting in this room, even without having done anything, just because you moved a little bit or because you received an email, you have been creating more data points in this small time of my talk than other people have created in their whole lives. Right? In former times, you created a birth record in the church book, might be a marriage record, might be a death record, and if you belong to the few unlucky ones who had to pay taxes, might be a tax record for every year where you pay taxes. That's 100 data points. I don't know, and I'm sure you all created much more while I was talking already. So we have the data, we have the old algorithms, and we have the computing power, and this is all coming together, and it's why we have AI, this AI revolution now. And then what is so amazing about ChatGPT is that people started to realize what it means, because now it's not like with the internet. When we went out to sell the internet, we explained people what it is. We said, it's a global network, you can send messages back and forth, and they said, yeah, what for? I have my friends, okay? And few companies saw the value of communicating, and then students bought in, research institutes bought in, and companies bought in, and slowly the bubble started to grow. It's not actually a bubble, the movement started to grow, and people started to buy internet from us. And still, we had to convince them, we had to explain them. Now, ChatGPT, you don't have to explain that to anybody anymore. Once they start to play with the tool, they see the potential, they are amazed by the possibilities. And the reaction I see is typically that we are fascinated, and to be very open, I'm scared as well. Because I think, okay, what could be the negative side of this amazing technology which is available there? And I'm not the only one, and you don't have to, okay, I studied law and economics, but you don't have to study informatics or computer science to understand the potential of the technology. It's there for everybody. And it's not only AI which is happening right now. We have some other things happening. Data I spoke already about, but we have augmented reality, which is coming a reality. As well, powered by the computing power available, we suddenly can create real augmented reality. It's not, I mean, you spoke about glasses in your introduction. That's now. I'm pretty convinced that in a few years, we don't have to wear Apple Vision Pro anymore. But if you have the opportunity to do so today, do it. It's amazing. I had the chance to see it with an SAP partner, and I went there and said, yeah, it's okay, it's going to be nice. But it wasn't nice, it was impressive. It was really, really impressive in a fully immersive setting to be with the Apple Vision Pro or to see the integration you can have. And then the other thing which is powered by computing, by the advance in computing processing capability is real time. We are now able to generate videos in real time. You have seen in the presentation of DMI in the beginning that they created these avatars. This is Synthesia, and I'm going to show you some of those as well. This is not yet real time, but it's only a matter of time when we will be able to create real avatars with real facial movements, standing like me here, being able to interact spontaneously. ChatGPT can already create the voice to do so, and now creating the video will only be the next step. And then the question which comes to me is, I hope the video plays. Yeah, sort of. What do we do with this technology? Because the human being is not two-dimensional. So if you go into and look at the old cave paintings, we started already 50,000 years ago to make two-dimensional representations of our world. So already 50,000 years ago, we had an image and we put it on a wall in 2 dimensions. And if I take out my tablet, I'm actually doing the same. The caveman did 50,000 years ago. I'm using my finger to write something on the tablet. And we call it innovation. So the question is, what's going to happen? Can we not use this technology to change the way we interact with machines? And that's why I loved the Apple Vision Pro so much, because it shows the path into what that could become, what we could do with this technology. When we manage to really create a different reality, and our brain is smart enough to work with that, and are able to interact with data in a completely different way. And
good morning, SAP.
Good morning, Janet. We just closed the month. Would you like a generic report, or do you have specific questions?
After our current measures, can you tell me what the gross margin is currently?
With pleasure. The gross margin is currently at $5.65 million. It's slightly dropped compared to the preceding month by $120,000.
Can you explain the drop?
The measures which led to the significant increase in the margin affected mainly cost of goods sold. They still have their effect and proved to be sustainable over the last months now. We see now a seasonal effect on the spot prices in the B2B sales, which explains the drop.
Thank you, SAP.
This is a bit cheesy, admittedly. It's synthesia. But I take every bet this is going to happen. I take every bet that in a few months or years, not a couple of years, but less than a year, you will be able to talk to an SAP system in that way. In a real way, asking questions which are not pre-scripted, where there is no intent behind, because normally when you create chatbots, you have an intent, and you try to find out what the customer wants. Okay, the customer wants to buy vaping products, so let's put him there. You don't need that anymore with generative AI. Generative AI is able to understand much, much more without us defining the intent before, and it's as well able to define the next best action, not by magic, but by what it has learned before. So we will be able to talk to ERP systems in that way, and this is Joule, right? What you see now from Joule in SuccessFactors or in the public cloud is just the start. We have this chatbot who can access all the data which is in an ERP system, but this is only the start. Joule will fundamentally change the way our users interact with an SAP system, and not only an SAP system. This philosophical change of interacting with computer systems will not be limited to SAP. We don't invent that, right? We are just part of the whole development which is there. So in a couple of years, we will not see the classical screens anymore, at least not in the beginning. We will see a human-like interface, whether it's typing because you type faster than you speak, or you at least feel like that, whether it's speaking, whether you are a power user, or whether you are a user who is actually not able to read and write. Because we do have customers who have production in areas where they employ people who cannot read and write. Those people today cannot interact with an SAP system because you only can interact with an SAP system or any computer system if you are able to read and type at least. That's going to change. In the future, those people will be able to talk to the ERP system, and the ERP system will be able to talk to them, and not only in pre-recorded phases, but in a true interaction, taking into consideration where the user is, what is the level of communication which is appropriate for a certain person, what do I like, and bringing that back into our corporate offices. The power user, the one to which you present Fiori, and she says, I don't need Fiori, I'm happy with SAP GUI, I'm much faster, and so on. We all know them, right? And they're right, they are. They will be served well with AI because they will get the user interface which allows them to work in the best way with the system. They have learned the transaction codes, let them use the transaction codes. But the person you just hired, and you show the person SAP GUI, the person might ask you, is this somewhere from the German Historical Museum, or is this a recent software, right? So they will have an interface which adapts to them and which allows them to go fast. And then we have a different user base in people who use the system every day and others who just use it to file a vacation request once per year. They will have their own user interface and they will be able to work with the system. On the panel, we discussed briefly change. Imagine that you don't have to invest into change management anymore. Beyond the really important part, beyond the management buy-in, that's what you said as well, Kushal, the management buys in and the management leads by example, by showing, yes, we want this change, but you don't have to do technical training for users anymore because Joule can do it for you. The generative AI will be able to recognize where a person is in his or her personal skills and give the relevant information. And this is not, I'm not making this up, this is happening. It's not somewhere out in the far future, it's in the near future, and we are merely in a position where we put the pieces together. And I really like that. So I call this a steam machine moment, because if I compare what's happening now to our industry, to any other industrial revolution, the steam machine came up, the steam engine, it's not steam machine, it's steam engine. In German it's Dampfmaschine, so steam engine. The steam engine hit the manufacturing industry and it changed everything. Now, like with AI, we didn't put steam engines everywhere, but we put them everywhere where it made sense, where we needed torque, where we needed to move stuff. It replaced water. We discussed about Geneva. Geneva had a huge watchmaking industry and still has a huge watchmaking industry, and they powered the machines with water, and when they all closed the valves around lunch, they had an overflow valve, which is now what? The fountain, yeah, the Le Jet d'eau in Geneva, which you see there, it's coming from the watchmaking industry. We didn't need that anymore because with the steam engine, we could create energy wherever we wanted, in every place. We only needed something to fire, and as humans, we were able to create fire almost everywhere, in the mountains, wherever, on the seaside. And then we put steam machines on rails, and they fueled the Industrial Revolution further, because suddenly we could transport goods in large quantities far away. And that's the interesting part for me. What we then did with the steam engine was to create electricity. Now, coming back to AI, a question, and I have no answer to that question, is what's going to be the electricity of the AI revolution? I was in a presentation of somebody who worked for OpenAI, and he said, this AI revolution is the last revolution managed by humans. The next revolutions will be fueled and powered by AI itself. So it's going to be AI which creates AI. Still with our ideas as a starting point, but the AI is going to play a role in everything. In the medical industry, it does it already today when it comes to finding vaccines, but it's going to be a huge driver for everything. And I have no idea what that's going to be, but the only way to handle it, I think, for us to have a strategy, and you have heard a bit about the strategies today already, what you can do to go forward. At SAP, we have 4 elements. I hope I get them all 4 together, because there are only 3 on the slide. One is that we are currently looking at all our business process, and we have been doing so for a long time. Actually, this is why the AI is in the SAP logo. Where we can use AI to make something better, whether that is machine learning or whether that is Gen AI. So we're really putting AI under the hood everywhere where we can. And this is going to be delivered to our customers just as updates. I'm talking about cloud customers, right? That's everything you see there in embedded AI. That's S/4HANA Public Cloud, S/4HANA Private Cloud, and all the LOB solutions which are currently running already in the cloud, like, for example, the Service Cloud. Then we have the, I know what I mean. We have the AI Hub, and that's in the AI Foundation. So if you want to develop your own AI solutions, or you have a use case where you say, yeah, I want to use AI to make a certain business process better, and I have a certain model from Google, Microsoft, Alpha. We have a number of partners there. You can use them through the business technology platform. On the business technology platform, we have something we call the Generative AI Hub, which you can use to access AI models from third parties. Because again, SAP we are the business process guys, right? We are not the AI model development guys. We use AI models to create added value, but we will not compete and develop GPT-5. That's not our role. Our role is to make sense of that for business. This is, by the way, why the recent discussion about the investments and AI not being sustainable and not being good doesn't matter at all to us. Because this just shows that the markets have understood that AI is not a bubble. Those investors, they were looking for a bubble to make as much money as quickly as they can, and they realized AI is not going to do that. Because AI is here to stay, and AI is going to take much longer to generate return on investment. But with the Generative AI Hub, you can generate and create return on investment immediately. The companies which are taking part in our hackathons, they work for 1 week, they go home with a use case they have implemented, they use it in their companies, and they create immediate value. So those 5 days are very well invested, and they have an immediate return on investment. But they don't invest into GPT-5 or GPT-4. Joule I explained already briefly. It's really the overarching AI co-pilot which will change the way we interact with the systems. We are rolling it out now. It is a lot of work, and in the discussion we had before, I already said customers are expecting us to deliver fast, but at the same time you expect us to be able to use our software for 20 or 30 years. There is a bit of a conflict in that, right? And we make sure that the things we put out on the market work, are reliable, and are relevant. And these are the guiding principles for AI, right? Relevant, reliable, and responsible. So we don't want to put just something out into the market because it's nice. We want to put it out because it makes sense. It has an added value. You can rely on the solution. And we don't want to use AI for every use case. We want to use AI in a responsible fashion. That's, by the way, something we should consider anyway. If you use software, it's not only to AI. You're looking at me, huh? I'm at the limit? Okay, I started late as well. That's why I wanted to share. Just one last word on the technical side. We have made all the data in S4HANA available for AI applications. We call this the HANA Vector Engine. The reason for that is that when you want to use data in a large language model, for example, you do not do this in a classical SQL way, like in a two-dimensional Excel table style of database, which is normally an SQL database, but you need a vectorized database. And I always compare this with it's an n-dimensional database. And ChatGPT, for example, they have, I think, 155,000 dimensions per data point, which is quite a lot, and which explains why it's so expensive to use the models, why it costs so much computing power. They're getting better, and they're getting better on the utilization as well, but still we need this data in this special format to be able to work with it in an AI model, and that's what the HANA Vector Engine does for our customers. This way you can access all the data in your S4HANA system and use it in a large language model. I'm getting to the end, and this is the slide I showed first at the DSRG meeting couple of, I think, last year. And this is when we discuss about on-premise and cloud and why Christian said we don't develop anything anymore for the on-premise systems and why we don't bring innovation to the on-premise systems. That's not true. We still bring innovation to the on-premise systems. Right? So an S4HANA customer who is on-prem, they will still get innovation, they will still get updates and so on for S4HANA. However, if you want to use AI, this benefits from standard processes. It benefits from data. And we technically, of course, we can do everything. It's software, right? You can do everything. But at which cost? So there are things specifically in the AI area which we only can deliver in the cloud. And if a customer comes to us and says, I'm on ECC, I'm on-premise, and I want to use AI, it is a bit like going with a horse to the Tesla supercharger. It doesn't work, right? We find solutions using the business technology platform. So in the hackathon, for example, we have ECC customers who can implement AI use cases, but it's not the best way to do it. Right? A clean core strategy where you say, okay, I keep my core clean and I do all my modifications and extensions in the business technology platform helps to go that way. But in the end, our North Star architecture is the public cloud. Now we can have a long discussion about why that's not yet possible today, why the features are not yet there, and so on. Everything is correct what you say. It is, however, our North Star architecture. It is where we want to go. And we want to go there because we want to make sure that SAP exists in a couple of years still. And we will only be able to do so if we can go into new markets with standardized software and if we can actually overcome. You mentioned that so nicely. Why are we throwing overboard a success recipe? You are throwing overboard the cigarette. We are throwing overboard the capability to change the SAP system, which was a success of ours, that every customer could change the SAP system. You can still do so, but in the BTP, not anymore inside the system. So you are getting really nervous now. Okay, I am through. Create AI playgrounds. We heard that already from Peter as well, very compelling. And if you want to join us, we have formats to take the AI journey forward with you. We have these Kickstart AI events where we do a short introduction into AI, into the technology. You can bring your team. They can go home and work on a use case. You can join our AI lab, which is more on a management level, where we get you together into our immersive experience room. We go through the AI capabilities, and we go home, and you go home with an AI roadmap, reflecting what you can do, what could be your next steps. Very nice format. We have the Mode 2 Garage. If you have a use case and you want SAP to work together with you on a use case, we do that. It's a 5-day format. We don't give it out for free because it's really only for you. It's consulting we do. And finally, we have our very, very cool SAP Hackathon. The next one is end of November. We have 5 days. We have 9 places. Last hackathon in June, we had 21 applications, so we had a hard time to choose. And if you have a use case you would like to implement using AI, any of the AI capabilities really driving the business forward, please join us for the hackathon or at least apply. We will help you to make the case hackathon ready because for us it's very important that when people join us on the hackathon, companies go there, they take a huge investment, 5 days, full team being on-premise. We take a huge investment because we bring in coaches, we bring in consultants to work together with the customers, and we want to make sure that there's success at the end, so we qualify the use cases. and guide the customers as well to that success. But that takes a lot of preparation. End of deadline for the applications is 18th of October. With that, I'm through. Do you have time for questions or not?
Yes. And I have one. Where can I
No,
get this shirt?
You
There's
jo- you
always
jo-
somebody who upstages me when it comes to dressing. It's
You join the hackathon.
oh, okay.
You make an AI use case.
Okay, that seems feasible. Definitely. And Alexander, how long does it take for the Gen AI on the UI side to be as sparkly as you are? You know, I was listening to you. I was not getting nervous. Well, only towards the end. You know, because I could have gone on listening to you. You're so passionate about this. How long does it take until it feels really real to have you, for example, as part of Joule? Or I can choose you as my avatar, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know if you want that. Older now then, but okay. I've seen what Porsche is doing, for example, with the Apple Vision Pro, and they are right now doing a huge campaign, going out to their business users to see what makes sense to put as data into the Apple Vision Pro. And I'm sure, I mean, as a child, that's a funny story, because as a child I had so many ideas that my parents bought a book about all the inventions of humanity. So there's a book which says, this works, this is like, these are the inventions. And whenever I had a crazy idea, my parents pulled out the book and said, Alex, that's already invented, it's already there. It was very frustrating, but my learning is that when I have an idea, I'm sure somebody else in the world is already working on it, and it's only a matter of time and a matter of visibility of getting that going. And we have all the building blocks. It's there, so I wouldn't, might be give it a year, but not much more.
Okay, I can do one quick question from the audience, which is mean if I say it like that, then nobody wants to do it. But please be courageous, because Alexander will be here later, but still, one question I saw before. Wait, let me go outside. Somebody had a question there. And while I'm away looking for the person to ask the question, I think it's time again that you look under your seats. Okay? Look for the next round of presents. Du hast eine Frage, gell? Okay. Doch irgendeine Frage. So wieder rein.
Ihre Schwimmweste ist
Siehst
unter
du?
dem Sitz.
Kommst du zur Tür? Aha. Who is sharing champagne with me? And if it's under a seat where nobody's sitting on, it's my bottle.
Yeah, you have one.
Ah. Okay, number one. I think there is another one. Did you look really carefully? Look again. Look again. And then while you are looking, Cornelia has a question for you, Alex.
Hi, Alex. I'm
Cornelia.
Cornelia Schaurika. I've been in AI since 12 years for large companies who are all your customers. So, you know, I opened the Handelsblatt this morning and was very upset because, again, they had very negative news that AI is just a hype, not here to stay and things like that. Do you already see, as a result of the last 2 weeks with the share prices and everything, do you already see customers doing things differently towards AI? Or have you received any reactions, any early?
So I was on vacation until Monday.
That's good. Probably.
And I was surprised. But as I said, I think this is actually very healthy that they write that, because AI isn't a hype. It's a technology and it's there to stay.
Fully agree. Yeah.
And our customers, when customers come to us and ask us about AI, they very frequently come with use cases and show us which use cases you have. And I don't want to do that, because a use case for me is like a screwdriver, right? A screwdriver has a million uses. You can use it to turn screws, you can use it to open windows. I don't know, there are plenty of applications for a screwdriver. Only if you know what you want to do. If you want to repair the brakes on your bicycle and you need a screwdriver for that, you know which screwdriver you need. Is it a Phillips head or a flat head? Which size you need, how long can it be? All this depends very much on the way you want to create value with the technology. And this is why we do these AI labs, to get customers to think about the value they can create. Yes, there are typical use cases like unstructured data to structured data to unstructured data, getting insight into large data sets which you couldn't correlate by your own. That's standard areas of use cases. However, they only make sense if you put them into your own business context. And this is the discussion we want to have. And this is why I really don't, I saw the news, and we have inside SAP a daily AI newsletter. which is, I mean, daily. It's quite long. I don't get to read it every day, and we had a whole feature about this this hype cycle. And I think it's very healthy that the make money fast investors move out of AI, and that we get the investors who really see and who are persistent and who stick to the investment. Then we will create the value, and the value will be there. I mean, it's already there. Come to our hackathon, do your use case, you have return on investment after 2 days. Cool. Right.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We have to cut this short, Alexander. I feel so bad today.
No, it's okay. You said 20 minutes. I
I
took
know
a bit more.
the afternoon is always derailing on me. I know it's normal. Thank God you're all new, so you don't know. Okay, so please give a warm applause
Thank
to
you very
Alexander
much.
Finger, everybody.